Hi everyone, welcome back to the Midwest Stitches YouTube channel. My name is Danielle and this is my channel where I talk all about my crafting adventures. Today is May 1st. Happy May everyone. It's kind of hard to believe that we are already in the 5th month of the year. What is time? Because it just flies right out the door when you hit a certain age, I swear. So today I have some crochet to show you. Really excited about that. Stuff for my blanket, that's more stuff in addition to the last time, and some knitting to show you. So let's jump right on in with all of that. You can find me on Instagram at midwest.stitches, and you can find all of my project pages for my knit and crochet projects on Ravelry at Midwest Stitches if you want to follow me over there. Okay, so I have one finished object. Well, unless you count my flowers. So then I've got a lot of finished objects. So we'll just jump right on in with my only finished pair of socks to show you. And you saw these the last time. It was not even started yet, and they're already finished. So super happy about that. I've got one on the blocker. So they're both done. So I love these. So this is the Stormwatch colorway from Yarnable. This was from April, I want to say 2022, so it's one of the oldest skeins in my stash, but I love how this worked up so much. Like, it's just so moody, and the color variation is amazing. So I'm super happy that I finally worked these up, and now I have them in my sock collection. So if you're new here, I knit my socks, this shorty pattern, on 2mm needles, 64 stitches. I do 8 rounds for the cuff and 4 rounds for the leg, and then I do my heel flap. And I followed the directions for all of the counts in the toe using the Crazy Sock Ladies Vanilla Socks on Magic Loop pattern. I knit exclusively Magic Loop, basically for everything, unless it's like a hat or something, and you really have to use a circular because it looks weird if you, or at least for me, it looks weird if you use Magic Loop. I've tried. So anyway, that's the details for these fingering weight socks. So those are done, and that's my only finished object, or at least fully finished object, if you get what I mean. Okay, before I jump in with the flowers, because those are really kind of half finished / finished objects. You know, if you've been here for a while, you kind of get the drift. I wanted to show you a half-finished object that I have, and you saw this sock the last time I had started it, and it is this sock. It's kind of hard to see. The light is kind of blowing out the color, so it's more color accurate, but that there kind of give you a close-up of all the speckling. So this is actually a fingering weight held double. So this is a DK sock, and this was from Pumpkins and Wool. She No Longer Dyes yarn, but it was called Southern Belle Shed. She had like a whole shed collection of colors, and I pretty much bought every single color. So I've slowly been working my way through those here over the last couple of years. But so anyway, these are, like I said, DK, so fingering held double, and I use the Crazy Sock Ladies DK Vanilla Sock pattern. That is a free pattern that you can download. And the only thing I did different from the pattern I think specifies like, I think 10 rounds for the cuff and maybe 20 rounds for the leg, but obviously you can play around with that depending on the length that you like, the amount of yarn that you have, etc. But for these I did 15 rounds for the cuff and 40 rounds for the leg, and then did the heel flap and gusset, and then obviously the toe and everything in the pattern. And I weighed these as I went. So I weighed obviously the yarn before I started, and then I weighed these as I went because my goal was to use up as much of this yarn as I could and try to figure out, if I do fingering weight held double, how much yarn would it take to basically, or how many rounds or whatever for the length of the leg, basically, depending on who I'm knitting for, to use up a whole cake of yarn, basically, because, you know, I'm really in stash busting mode. Like, I'm still in that in that feeling. Last year, this year, I'm still purchasing yarn, but it's definitely slowed down. I'm definitely being more intentional about my purchases and just really trying to be creative with the projects that I pick, and like blankets or things like that, to use the stash that I have instead of trying to buy more. So it's going really well. I'm pretty excited. I have a couple more stash busting projects in mind, besides, you know, just the normal socks and hats and things like that. So I'm slowly working towards those. I'm not trying to get them all done this year or work through my entire stash this year. If you see the light kind of shift or whatever, I'm gonna try to stay on top of that. It's getting a little cloudy here, of course. Anyway, so I'm on the stash busting train. That's basically what I was getting at, is I'm still there. I'm still feeling very motivated in that area. And it's not just in my craft area, or with yarn. I'm wanting to do that with my fabric stash. So obviously yarn, fabric stash, and then we're even, you know, kind of together, that's translated into like our kitchen. So I'm very much trying to go through the food in our house, our pantry, our cupboards, our freezer, to just try and be creative with our meals and work through some of that old food and condiments and just everything that we have. And I know I'm not the only person. Like, you just buy stuff and it gets pushed to the back of the cabinet, or you forget you have it and then you buy more. I'm really bad about that. I only shop very minimally every week. Like, I only buy the essentials, but it's like every once in a while I'll go and I'll buy like an extra one of this or an extra one of that. And I forget we already have 3 or 4 at home because they're in a cabinet somewhere. So trying to be more intentional about that. And, you know, that's just kind of I think I said this in January, maybe, that was kind of my word of the year, was just intention. Maybe I didn't, maybe I just said it in my head. I don't know. Anyway, so just being mindful of that. So anyway, little side tangent there, but one is done. I just cast on the second one today, and I forgot to show this last week or the last episode because I don't know. I just forgot to show it, but I never show my bags because they're all mine. I know that sounds kind of, I don't know the word, but it's like, you know, anyway, I'm not trying to sound like, ooh, my bags, but I just like the ones that I made, and I have a lot of them. So anyway, I wanted to show this because look how good these match. I mean, were they not made for each other? So this was like a weird size bag that I made because the print, I mean, it's so adorable. I mean, look at that. But the print, I never released this really like as a release when I had my shop open. I had a couple that I made in a weird, like flat kind of a sack pattern because I wanted to show off the print, the little donkeys, without cutting like this one. You know, I like cut off its head. It's, it's just, you know. Anyway, so I kept this one for myself. I made it because I could still appreciate the pattern even if I didn't get the full effect on it. But I just wanted to show that because look how cute those are together. So perfect. Okay, so obviously I've started the second one. I just cast it on today. There was really nothing to show. The cast on in 1 round, so I'm not even going to pull that out of the bag and show you. Just know that hopefully the next time I will have that done. It should be pretty quick. That's the other thing. I got off on a tangent. I forgot to mention the yarn. I wanted to figure out if I could use up exactly pretty much half of a skein, and I think I did. I hopefully, cross your fingers, cross my fingers, that the amount I remember it weighing and half of it and the other half left, it will work for the second sock, and I won't have to bring out like a scrap or something to finish off the toe. That's what I'm hoping. And if not, it's really no big deal. I figure it's an experiment, and if it uses up the yarn before I'm done with the toe, then I know, okay, cut back on the amount of rounds on the leg, just a little, maybe a few rounds on each, and it'll pretty much use up a whole skein, because that's really, you know, in the spirit of my stash busting mindset right now. I'm definitely going to knit more fingering weight held double socks with my stash because, you know, I can make them as gifts, and, you know, Adrian will wear whatever. I can make up like a stash of DK socks for gifts and just have, you know, like a few Christmases and birthdays done up because they work up so quickly. So anyway, there are those. That's kind of a work in progress / half finished object. So I'll show you my other work in progress before I get to the flowers. I just cast it on today as well. So I'm holding it. I pulled out my summery type bags, but this is the one I'm working with this month. I love this print so much. Like I'm ready / not ready for summer. It got really hot one of these days. Like last week, it was like 85 outside and it was muggy. And I was like, oh no, I'm so not built for this. I need to live somewhere where it's like 75 or 60 degrees all the time, or snowing 9 months out of the year. I'm just not built for the hot weather. I really don't like it. And it's funny because we have a pool in our backyard, and it's just, it's so hot here. It's almost unbearable sometimes in the summer when it gets over 100 degrees. Like, I know there's people that live in like, you know, Arizona and like the desert, and that's a different kind of hot. That's a dry heat. Is very humid here in Nebraska. Like, it just makes it horrible. If you're from the Midwest, if you're from around here, you know what I'm talking about. It's not pleasant in the summer, in my opinion, but I have friends that love it. Like, summer comes around and they just like bake outside all day long. Like, it is their favorite thing in the world, and I'm convinced it's because they are summer babies. They have summer birthdays. I'm a December baby, so I was born in the middle of winter, right before Christmas. So I'm definitely a cold weather gal. I love cold weather. Anyway, so the yarn I'm using is another Yarnable yarn, and it was last month's color, so April 2025, Guava Cream Macaroon, I think is how you say that. Anyway, it's a beautiful color, and it matches this bag so perfectly. Look at that. I love this. I'm super happy that I subscribed to Yarnable again. I haven't had a subscription in a couple of years, and they opened back up when March's colorway was coming out this year, and I decided to sign back up mostly because they now have the no frills option, which is where you just get the yarn. Ooh, hello brightness. The sun kind of came back out. Anyway, so they have the no frills option, and you just get the yarn, and I love that. So I love that for two reasons. One, I don't need all the extras. I have enough crap in my house as it is. Hello, dog. There she is, folks. Coming to say hi. And there's her tail. Lay down. Go lay down. Go on. Anyway, I love that they have the no frills option now, because Yarnable, I think, I don't know if it was last year or the year prior, they kind of changed some of their extras where they would have some scented products, and they do warn you of that now, but they didn't. And I am one of those weird ones in the world. I'm super sensitive to smells. I know I've talked about that before, so that was kind of off-putting to me, not knowing what you would get in the mail and opening the box and triggering my allergies and migraines and all that kind of stuff. So I was just like, okay, I started purchasing the extras that she would have, because you could buy just the yarn with some of her extras if she had some. So I just did that for a while, and now that you have the no frills option, you just get the yarn. There's no extras and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, I've cast on, and I have the cast on in one round again. So I will be working on these, and this is my first May cast on for the month for my box. This wasn't, I wanted to do this in the month of April, but I didn't get to it, and it kind of feels more of a May summer colorway to me anyway. So I figured I would just save it, and I would add it to my basket of yarn, yeah, for this month, and see what I can get through. Because after I show you my progress on my blanket, you'll see I'm taking a break from crochet for this month, so I will be knitting hopefully a ton of socks. Since I just talked about my May basket, I figured I would show you the other yarns that are in the basket. So here it is. Here's my May basket. And this is a sock set. This is Legacy Fiber Arts. And this is Golden Hour. That's the colorway. This is also Legacy Fiber Arts. It's their Skittles colorway. This is Yarnable. This is the one yarn from my April basket I didn't get done up. And that is the Some Bunny Loves You. So I just put that in here. I figure if I get through these other ones, I could just do that one too. And then this is actually Yarnable as well from last year. What is this called? Berry Citrus Bliss. So I made socks for my friend out of this, and there is half left, so I'm going to make socks for myself. So that's 4 plus the other one, 5. And then actually the May Yarnable is on its way to me. I think I was getting it kind of later than other people. So it should be here Monday. And I have already snuck a peek at the yarn. I do that to, I spoil it for myself just in case I'm kind of like, I don't want the color, and then I can just skip that month. But anyway, my plan is to knit socks, obviously, out of that too. And so I might add that to my May box. We'll see how the month plays out. Now, should we talk about the crochet flowers? Actually, I'm going to save that for last because it's super exciting. I have a very exciting update. Okay, so I'm going to update you on my Little Squares knitted blanket. So I don't remember, I really should mark this, but I don't remember where I was at last time in the strip. So here's the current strip that I'm on. I know you saw like a good chunk of this, but here is the current one. I think I was here the last time. This is the Suki's. Oh yeah, that's where I was. This is Suki's Wedding Day from Stitchin' with Yarn. So I added this color. This was Legacy Fiber Arts, Legacy Fiber Arts. This was a sock set, so I added those two. And this is Mandy's Makings. So I actually have 10 colors so far. I have 2 left, so I will have this strip finished by the next time. I just have to sit down and work on it. And I actually have the 2 colors, the 2 scraps already in the bag for this. This is Legacy Fiber Arts DK. I had a DK mini skein set, and these were leftovers from my flowers I'm about to show you. So, shall we get into the flowers and the exciting update? Okay. Again, I've just been like a crochet machine, which is why I'm taking a break for the month of May, maybe the month of June. I have not decided yet, but here we go. Another stack of flowers and quarter flowers. Yay! Okay, so with these flowers, I only have 1 left to do. And the reason it's not done is because I'm using the May Yarnable, half of it, to make my final flower. So I'll go through these really quick and show you. So there's this one. I don't know the dyer of this. I think it was Hand Knits and Things or something. I got it a long time ago at a local yarn shop, but it was called Peach Skin. So there's that one. And this is a Yarnable colorway, which is really wild and crazy, from a couple of years ago, called Wild Flowers. I figured that was appropriate for my flower blanket. This is Granite State Yarns. This was actually the first skein I ever purchased from her shop when she was still on Etsy. And it was called Berry Pickin'. So that's very bright and fun. I was trying to make sure I added some bright colors along with, I have some darker colors in the blanket already, so wanted to mix it up. And then we have another Yarnable. This is called Grape Crush. This was a December colorway from I think 2 or 3 years ago. And then we have Freckled Whimsy. So I have now 2 self-striping flowers to add. This was, I know it doesn't look like it, you probably can't tell, but this is the leftovers from the 2023 Advent colorway called Hearth and Home. At first I was unsure about how I like this flower, but I think it looks very cool. I think it'll look nice in the blanket. And then I have another Yarnable. This is actually the Guava Cream Macaroon colorway. I already crocheted in a flower, so now I have the other half for socks. And it's kind of getting blown out. I mean, it's bright, but it's not that bright. So there's that. So like I said, I have 1 full flower left to crochet. I can't believe it. I'm so excited. So it's going to be here supposedly Monday. The yarn will be here. And then obviously I will have that last flower to show you the next time I record. but yeah, I was so close to being done with all of them that I just kind of like pushed myself a little bit and knocked it out. I mean, not like super crazy or anything, but it was like, okay, just a little bit more, just one more hexagon kind of a thing. So then we have the quarter flowers. I did these last night. These are actually pretty quick. So these are all using, like I said, I had a Legacy Fiber Arts DK mini skein set. And so I used that to create the quarter flowers. So here's one. And they look a little like funny, but they straighten out when you add them to the blanket. But there's one. And then there's another one. And then I had like a bunch of different colors, so I just kind of mixed and matched. So there's one, two, and then the fourth one. So I needed 4 of them, and there are my 4. So can you believe that? I can't believe it. I like stayed up a little too late last night finishing the quarter flowers, but I wanted to, like April 30th, I wanted to be done with them. And granted, like I said, I still have 1 full flower left, but I'm kind of considering it like, I finished, you know, I had a basket of yarn that was meant for these flowers and it's all gone. It's all worked up. So I'm really pleased with that. I'm really happy. And like I said, I'm taking a break. Whew, fuzz. I'm taking a break from the crochet for the month of May. I also don't have my joining yarn yet. It's still being dyed up by Kimber's Cozy Creations. So I can't even work on it if I wanted to. So this blanket is basically going into hibernation for at least a couple of months. I'll probably pull it back out. I know it sounds weird. I'll pull it back out in July, but when it's like hot as, you know, 100 degrees outside. But we'll see. Sometimes I like to work on a blanket in the summer because the air conditioning can get kind of cold in the house. And if we're, you know, watching a movie or something and it's kind of cooler, it might be nice to pull that out. I don't know. We'll see. I might not pull it back out until the fall, and then definitely wouldn't meet my deadline of finishing it by November. But again, that's okay. It's no big deal. So yeah, I'm going to take a break and work on some other things. So in maybe taking a break from crochet, my other blanket, which I don't know if you can see the bag in the picture. It's right there. That's the Rainbow Ripple blanket that I was working on, that I said I was going to try a different pattern and start over. I have not done that yet. It's still going to be a crochet pattern, but I might wait a couple of weeks or at least a week or two and give my hands and arms a rest from the crochet before I try that out. So maybe next time I will show you what I'm thinking and working on for that, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm still planning the project. I'm still going to do it, or at least try it out. I just have not started it yet. So I think I'm just going to stick with some knitting projects for right now and just kind of take a break from the blankets just for a short while. I do enjoy working on them, and they are great stash busters. But yeah, it is getting warmer outside, and I do want to work on more dishcloths. So I have an update on the pattern. I have written up the pattern, and right now this weekend I'm going to work on a tutorial video that will be in the pattern to go with it, because even though I think it's an easy pattern, but it's my pattern, so I understand and have all the instructions in my brain, there are a couple parts where maybe if you're a more visual person, it will be easier for you to follow along or to see those steps worked out. And I know that's how I am. So I figured I would record that and provide that in the pattern for anybody who purchases it. And I have decided to put it up like to be a paid pattern, just because I am including counts and directions for 3 basically different patterns, if you will: coaster, pot holder, and dishcloth size, along with the video tutorial. So I'm going to put it up there for a paid pattern, but I don't have a date for that yet. But I will obviously let you know when I get that out there. I want to have it, obviously the video done and edited and included in the tutorial or in the pattern, so that you have the tutorial if you need that to follow along with, or if there are any steps that maybe are confusing to you in the pattern. I want to have that as a resource in there, because I know that's helpful for me. So anyway, just a little update on the pattern. I'm hoping to send it to my friend who offered to tech edit it for me this weekend after I get the video up. I might send it to her before then and just say, hey, if you're confused, let me know and I'll try to walk you through a part of the pattern. But that's where we're at with that. I think that is all I have for you guys today. Yeah, thank you. Oh, you probably hear a train in the background. There's a train going by. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it so much. If you like this video, hit the like button. And if you aren't subscribed to my channel, hit the subscribe button. And I will see you guys next time. Take care and God bless. Bye.